Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with Barbecue Champs Academy live show tonight. And boy, we're going to have a great show with Mr. Matt Ouverson, the 2019 SCA Points Champion is in the house. He's coming off an incredible weekend this past weekend at the Winter Wonderland Cook-Off over there in Texas. And we cannot wait to get a chance to talk to him. He has been tearing up the SCA. He had a big cook-off up at Mark Lambert's place here at the beginning of November. And that was about a month ago, and I think he had a first or second place steak. I can't remember. I know he'll let us know. And I know he had a second place on a hog. So Matt has just been absolutely tearing it up. Figured we'd get him on here. As you come on, certainly let us know. We got a lot already showing up. There's Mr. Scott. Scott, how you doing, buddy? I'm glad your daughter is doing well. We'll continue to keep her in our prayers for a speedy recovery. Mr. Rick, we see you're on here as well. As y'all keep on coming on, let us know. We've got going to have a great show tonight. I can't wait. Matt is just so good. He's always willing to help people, and we've seen that happening this past weekend as he was kind of working with one of the guys that had taken his class, Mr. Roy Frazier. And it's so good to see all of our Barbecue Champs alumni helping everybody to do their things. So if you got questions for Matt tonight, please let it be made known. So first, before we get started, I do want to always start off our show thanking all of our partners, Be Extreme Barbecue, Mr. Danny Helms. We appreciate you so much and all the things that you help us out with and being a sponsor in our show. Papa Joe Grilling Supply. Always great to have these guys. These guys exclusively have all of Matt's product that he sells or that he used in his class. We made sure that we had a supplier where it's a one-stop shop for all. We appreciate those guys stepping up. B&B Charcoal, Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. Mr. Brian Crawford has his own rub, the Crawford's Barbecue Pit product. Absolutely amazing. Brian carries about 95% of the products that we have for our classes for all of our barbecue and a lot of our steak cookers as well. Craig Sherry, Mr. Craig Sherry, Texas Pepper Jelly. He's got some great products, a whole new line of rubs that he came out with this year. Gunnar Wilhelm, Mr. David, and those of you that have bought our classes and got the all access, or if you bought any class from us, we've got a discount that's running through Christmas. Guys, you still have time to utilize it. I think he allowed you 2 times to use that discount and take advantage because you're getting those knives at just practically just a little bit over cost. I remember him telling me that. Mr. Kale with Barbecue News Magazine. We appreciate those guys and what they do. And our newest sponsor, Tapacue. We're going to have a little, they're going to be on, we're going to try to get them on next week, but this is one of their little air probes that they have that'll connect to your phone. It's a wireless thermometer. It is absolutely wonderful. I've got an opportunity to play around with this, use it at a cook-off. Absolutely love it, but we appreciate Tapacue being on here. They've got the complete fan assist where it'll actually has the blower fan and everything. The complete computer control. We'll talk about all that next week, but this thing is absolutely awesome. So we'll end up talking a little bit more about that next week as we try to get them on. Got a lot of folks steadily coming on here. There's Mr. Chuck. Hey, Chuck, how you doing, man? I hope we get to see you out on the competition trail this weekend. Take it easy on us, brother, because, man, you've been on a roll yourself. So we got Ron on here. We got several other ones. Come on out here. Bring on the Wicked Pig. Yes, sir, Mr. Jim. That Wicked Pig is some good stuff, and a lot of people are starting to find out about it. And there's Mr. Terry Roan himself. Hey, Terry, how are you doing? Paul's on here. Hey, Paul, thank you for joining us. Before we go any further, though, it's time we bring in the man of the hour, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the one that everybody wants to aspire to be like, Mr. Matt Ouverson. Hey, brother, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Congratulations, man. You have been absolutely tearing it up on the SCA circuit, man. And heck, I guess it don't matter if you cook a steak or a hog, you're still tearing it up. So
it's been fun.
Yeah, and there was the first place winner, if I recall, Mr. James Cruz. So I got a chance to visit with James down in Marksville at a competition that we was down there. So that's the guy that beat you right there. If you don't know Mr. James, he is a unbelievable cook. And James, we may have to get you on our show if you're up for that. Give me a thumbs up, a shout out, or you'd like to be because he is just an absolute wonderful guy. Runs a restaurant down, I think it's in the New Orleans area down South Louisiana, and he's a great cook himself. So
Yes, he was.
there's Mr. Mark with Barbecue News Magazine. So let us know if you got any
Mark.
questions for Matt. I know he's got a lot of stuff to talk about. There is the Miss Sandy Brown. I'm telling you right now. She has been out front in this points chase from just about the get-go, as far as I can remember. Had she went wire to wire with this thing, or pretty much?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. So congratulations, Sandy. It looks like you about got this thing wrapped up. Absolutely awesome job. Congratulations. So, Matt, tell us what's been going on since Barbecue Champs Academy filmed that 100% tell-all competition cooking class that you have unleashed on the SCA, buddy. How's things been going with that?
Good. There's been a lot of success coming out of it. Roy from last weekend was one of them. And it's just countless people. I mean, golden tickets, wins, double wins. It's just been nuts. Feels
SCA
good.
record for the most points ever scored with Mark Simmers. Remember, he did that a month and a half ago. Yeah. Mark had taken Matt's class. I think he had only cooked 3 competitions in his life. He bought Matt's class, and he went to his 4th competition. I don't remember how he did there. Then he goes to his 5th competition he ever cooked and hit a first place. I think you was there, wasn't you? Matt cooked against him. You want to know how good his class is? Matt cooked against the guy that took his class, and the guy set the SCA points record for the most points ever scored in an SCA event with a 254.4. So that's the proof right there. So, Roy, congratulations on your golden ticket that you got. I know I called you Ray just a minute ago. I don't know why that, and I apologize. So, anyway, you've definitely had all the classes have helped everybody, and that's the one thing that I really appreciate you guys laying it on. I said, don't come on here if you want to come give me some scrub stuff. I don't want it. It's not fair. It's not who we are and who we represent. We want to be able to see these people go out and participate and do good and grow this sport. That's what Barbecue Champs Academy was all about, to grow the sport. And because if we don't, we're going to have the same people winning all the time. And I can tell you, that's not conducive to growing a sport. And it's hard to get out and learn. You know, for a newbie coming in, they come in, they cook a year or so, they get frustrated, they quit. And how do you see what we've done changing that, Matt?
Kyle Hampson was another one of those gentlemen. He cooked 6 comps, and then he reached out to me personally. I tell people on my page, you're more than welcome to reach out to me if you don't want to talk, in private. If you want to talk in private and not on get everybody else, I'm like, give me a holler. I spoke with him. That was the Wednesday before comp, and he went out and never walked before. He got first place, and then the next following day he got 1st and 3rd. So
wow. A triple in a weekend.
He needed one little thing, he was struggling on his doneness, and I talked to him, just where he needed to be, and that's all it took. So
wow. That's the one thing that we really kind of set up when we set up that private Facebook group is to continue to mentor them, to help them, that you can watch the class, you can get it. We show it all. I mean, it's going to show the doneness and what you're doing, but sometimes you might just need a little help if you're struggling with things, but we certainly show it in the class. That is for sure. We talk about it. Your cooking process was really unique and different, and it was a real easy way, I thought, to hit doneness and hit it almost perfect every time on your cooking style. And hats off to you the way that you do that, because it's pretty impressive.
Something crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you think the classes with everybody that we've got on Barbecue Champs have changed the footprint of the SCA?
Man, people are getting tougher to cook against. When you take Terry's class, John's class, my class, anybody's class, Shauna's, Alan's, it's just, we're teaching them way too much stuff, and You gotta. It's going to be tough to compete here shortly. I mean, it's starting to, you're starting to see it already. So
yeah,
I'm glad to see those people doing good. I mean, that makes it fun for me, and I love, handing my golden ticket down to Roy. That was amazing to me. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's got to feel gratifying. It's I know it's harder on you guys. There's no doubt, but it's got to make you feel good that when somebody took y'all's classes to go out there and just like you said, who was the guy that hit the first and the third, the one that the first on the Friday night and the second and the first
and
on
third, Kyle Hampson.
Kyle. That's got to make you feel incredibly well that you've got somebody that does that well after taking your class.
I mean, I talked to him for probably 10 minutes and I'm like, okay, what stakes do you pick? I just kind of did a little rundown with him. And I said, where's your doneness bin? Oh man. I'm like, there's your problem right there. I'm like, here, let's just change that. And, everything you're doing, everything else right. Let's just change that doneness a little bit. Here's what to do. Here's what to pull it at. Here's what it's going to go to. Bam. That's all it takes.
And there you go. I tell you what, it's knowledge that helps, and I just think I think that's one of the greatest things is that's how you grow the sport. My whole envision with this deal was to grow the sport of SCA, was to grow the sport of barbecue, and it's like this is what it takes to be able to do that. So. Well, I know one thing. You have been on an absolute tear. How did you do at Mark Lambert's place? I know that really kind of got things kicked off. You had won some competitions before that, but I'm talking about some pretty big competition. How many people was at that competition with Mark Lambert put on? That was an unbelievable event he did.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go down there and cook whole hog. That was my main thing to go do. And then I had a bucket list to cook mini pot. And he always does it, and I haven't been down there to do it. And I was like, I want to go down there and do that. So went down there on Wednesday, just hung out on Wednesday, hung out on Thursday. Thursday night we cooked mini pot. I won mini pot on Thursday night. It's just a little 1-quart cast iron tub, and you cook it on just some coals, put some coals on top of it. You can cook any way you want to. You got to use all their seasonings. And I walked out of there winning with lobster mac and cheese.
You won first place.
First place.
Wow.
That kicked my weekend off. So I mean, I'm like, oh, cool. So we went on to Friday night. I cooked steak. I think there was 75 people. And I pulled an 8th place walk out of that. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. And then Saturday we went into another steak. I placed 8th out of I think 94 teams there. And then we turned in whole hog. It was me and Mark Seamers and Craig Carter. And we walked away with reserve grand champion whole hog against some top notch.
Some good whole hog cookers, yeah.
Man, everybody there had either won a Memphis of May or won a big hog comp, so I felt great. I mean, I've never cooked a whole hog in my life. I knew where to go in and get all the stuff, the parts, the pieces, and I just needed a little direction on the loins. That's about all I needed. And
right.
I got what I set out to do. So
yeah. How many teams was there in the steak?
Steak for one of them was like I think 84. The other one was like 96.
Good gracious! What, you had a first place steak?
No, 8th and 8th.
8th and 8th. Okay, 8th and 8th. And it was second place hog. First place on the ancillary on the mini pot. Okay. Tell you what, man, 2 8th place back to back with that kind of competition. That's tough. And then this past weekend, you was down in Winter Wonderland, and how did you fare down there?
Second place on Friday night out of 56.
I got it up here. There it is.
Yep.
Second place on Friday out of 56. Okay.
Yeah, and then first place in Steak B out of 67 or something like that.
Man, I tell you what, you have been tearing it up.
I'm feeling good right now. I struggled there for a little bit, and then I kind of just relaxed, got back on a roll, and I'm flying to Glendale, Arizona on Friday. Let that cat out of the bag. So look out, Glendale. I'm coming.
You're coming, huh?
Double in the desert, baby.
There you go. Well, Mr. Corey said 15 calls, including 2 first and 2 second out of 19 competitions after taking your class.
Yes,
Dang. Dang. Man, I'm telling you what.
Corey's on a roll, and Corey is part of Team Wicked Pig now. So.
Yeah. How long have you been cooking, man? You know how long he's been cooking, Matt?
Not sure.
Corey, tell us how long you've been cooking. I'm just curious. So, man, I tell you what, that is an impressive record, especially with the competitions today.
Now that I see this comment, I forgot to make a shout out. So not only did I win first place, I went down there with 4 other Midwest cooks, Mark Huntley, Jeff Jacobson, and Dr. Mark Johnson, and we won every comp. So our cabin 16, took home first place on steak on Friday, first place steak A on Saturday, and first place steak B on Saturday.
Dang, man, y'all needed to bottle up some of that water before y'all left. So, goodness,
it was amazing. So we got a good picture with all of us with our first place trophy, and I got a second place trophy. We got a 4th and a 7th out of that also. So we rocked the weekend. It was good.
Wow, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And that lady right there, Miss Shauna Joe, it was so great to have her on here. Last week
she got third. She got third.
Had a third place.
A. Yep.
Yeah, steak A. She had a third. So, yeah. I tell you what, Shauna's tough, man. She hasn't got a chance to cook a whole lot this year because all of this COVID stuff and everything. But I tell you what, the competitions that young lady has cooked this year, she has definitely been in the top 10 on several occasions. So, Shauna, congratulations on your third place call. I know I hadn't got a chance to call you, but I will. So we're gonna hook up and she gonna school me into some steak stuff. So anyway, it's great to have her here, literally 10 miles from the house. So. All right, so Danny, we got a few questions. Danny wants to know what he call you, man?
We probably can't talk about that.
All right, so Corey said that he's been cooking for 1 year, and Corey, how did you do prior to this? Was you knocking it pretty dead with the consistency that you've got now, 15 out of 19, or was you kind of struggling? I'm just kind of trying to see how it's helped you. So let us know that. Let's get to another question. Cabin 16 did well. Yeah. All right. So here's a question. Just saying, Vanessa wants to know, talk a little bit about fire management when doing triples.
So if it depends on what you're cooking on, PK runs a little different. I just switched to M grills. So I switched to an M16. I cooked on it this weekend. But if you're cooking on a PK, do your normal that you're going to cook 1 comp, and then just add like probably 6 or 8 briquettes when you're done. Get them back up to speed. Then you're ready for your next one, and then check it again. You probably have to put about 15 to 20 more back in there, and that should get you up to speed depending on your timeline. But okay. I've done 2 triples in 1 day, and that seems to be about the way to do. Some people dump in between. Or dump after the double and relight for the triple. It's personal preference. I mean, it's just what kind of charcoal you're using. You're using B&B, using Kingsford, using
right.
I mean, it's just kind of all. I can't give you an exact
you can't
number
put because I mean the B&B burns a lot longer. It's a little bit bigger briquette than the Kingsford. It seems to burn a little bit longer. If you're using lump in there as well, that's going to last a long time. So, a lot of it is are you shutting the grill down a lot to in between the rounds to kind of let the coals die down? You can always open it back up. It's gonna stoke back up when that air hits it. So, Sandy says that
the shag carpet.
Yeah, the shag carpet's what did it. I have to believe you're probably right, Sandy.
This place was straight out in like 1970s. I mean, it was.
Let me ask. Did it have the orange? Did it have the orange shag carpet?
No, it was green.
It was green. That's it. There's orange and green.
There was like a brown and white recliner. Looked like something was sitting at my grandma's house. Back in the day. The walls weren't straight. I mean, the place was beat up, but it makes it all the fun. I mean, it's expensive to get the cabin, but hey, you know what? We had a good time.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Okay, Corey said he had one call over 1 year. He almost gave up. He took your class. You saved his dream to be able to cook. So he had one call in 1 year, and then 15 out of the last 19 since taking your class. Man, alive.
Corey's doing a great job, and
yeah,
you know, I knew Corey took my class, but he never even asked any questions. So whatever he took from the class, he learned it. He learned it, and that's what I'm glad to see somebody do. Me and Corey talk now, but you know, he went out, watched the class, did it all on his own. Great for him. That's what I want people to do. That's awesome.
Yeah. You know, I see a lot of questions sometimes asked in our forum, and I just kind of let it go. I mean, they'll ask a question, and I know I'll go back. Did I answer that? Did we cover that? And I'll go back in the video, and it's there. And it's just like, we answered that, you know, and I think sometimes you can get yourself in trouble by just trying to overanalyze it. Just look at the video, follow what it says, and go with it. And quit trying to, well, what about this? What about that? I was like, man, I know we talked about that. I've had 2 or 3 times I went back and looked at that. And I was like, man, we've covered that. And then, well, I just want you know, just to reaffirm it. I'm like, just do the class. You start over analyzing things, and I think a lot of stuff can go wrong by doing that. And there you go. There's Corey that, you know, he took the class. He hadn't reached out. He just watched the video, and he watched it. I think Mark did the same thing. I remember you said he watched the class 3 or 4 times. He went back. He watched it 3 or 4 or 5 more times. He had it nailed down. He went and got a deadgum first place and set the SCA points record. So to me, that's what it's about. You know, I mean, just take your time, because if you start questioning, you're trying to remember what you said in the class, you know, and yeah, you can give them information. You're not there watching the video in front of them. So a lot of times I think it could even confuse you of like, okay, you know, I mean, I'm trying to go off of memory of what I told you there. I mean, obviously what you told is what you do. It's not like you have to remember, because, I mean, hey, it works. So anyway, let's see. We've got another question. When using Wicked Pig, why beef consomme instead of stock? Have you used condensed consomme with any luck? There's a good question.
And I'd like to go over this again, because I know there's a few people that have called me and, you know, how do you use it type of thing. So why the beef consomme? Beef consomme has gelatin in it. Gelatin suspends the product in the liquid. If you use water or broth, it's going to fall to the bottom of the bag, and you're just going to have to keep mixing it up. So that's why we use consomme, because of the gelatin in there.
Yeah.
And I have not used condensed consomme.
Yeah, probably don't need it.
And then the more, like, people's wanting to know about a little time, you know, 14 minutes is what I do all the time. I don't care what sort of steak it is. It's all in the steak you guys pick. You gotta choose your steak wisely. Some people are coming to me and going, "Oh, my texture's low." It's the steak you picked.
That's right. And we specifically covered that in the class of what to look for. Just go back and listen to that. Here we go. Here it is. You know, here's Mark. The cook's knowledge plus Mike's million questions is the power combo that makes the class amazing. I ask a lot of questions. I come off like a dumb butt when I'm doing these things. Like, I don't know nothing. But I do that for a reason, because I want to make sure that I'm asking the questions. If somebody was sitting there in front of that camera that we're in front of, and we got 3 different cameras rolling, I do that to make sure that we don't leave nothing in. If I hear you say something, I'm listening. You know, you throw me a bone and I'm going to run with it. And then I'm going to throw you some stuff that y'all probably didn't even expect, because my whole job is to get the answers out of you, to make sure that we're covering everything. And that to me is the most important thing. So, and it just helps the class go better. I know the direction I'm trying to take the class. You coming in for the first time, you have no idea where we're trying to go with it. I know where I'm trying to lead it. I've got a path I'm trying to get these people on to be able to have success. And we think that's what's probably done pretty dadgum good. So, does one batch marinate 2 steaks? Shauna wants to know that.
Yes. If I was doing a double, sometimes if it's close enough, I'll put all 4 steaks in that same bag, and then pull out, all 4 of them. and set 2 of them aside for my double.
Right.
And then if you wanted to just marinate one set, as long as you keep the marinade cold, the marinade does not stop working until it hits 145 degrees. After that, it's done for. So you can mix it the night before. Some people marinate and then save the bag, just don't have to waste the product, and then put their other 2 steaks in there 30 minutes later or whatever. So you can do it however you want to.
Yeah. Corey's got some good advice. Keep it simple and practice, practice, practice. You know what? That's it. Yep. Frank, I see you're asking a question. I think people, me especially, try to listen to everybody instead of staying consistent with one thing. Keep it simple, have fun, cook a steak. You know, I think that's the biggest thing. You start listening to everybody, and buddy, I'll tell you what, you'll be out in left field going, what in the heck am I doing? You got some amazing cooks. You got some amazing class, Frank. I can't remember how many people's class that you have taken. I know it seems like a couple of them.
People tend to get real sideways real fast, you know, and all these rubs and stuff out there, you know, they go out and they buy more and they buy more and they buy more, and stick to one thing that's well balanced. Run it. If it doesn't work, then change it up. But don't be switching stuff every comp just because you can't get a hit on it. You'll find what they like, and like you said, don't listen to everybody else. That's what people tend to walk around and gossip, and that's what gets you in trouble.
It gets you in trouble in a hurry.
It gets me in trouble, you know, because everybody's, you know, hey, try this. Well, it tastes really good, you know, but, you know, and then you get off into left field, and then it's like, hey, where'd I go? Why ain't I getting a call?
Go back to what I do, and that's exactly right. So
go back to the basics and start from there.
Yep, every steak's going to be different. Some will need more marinating than the others. Yep, that's right. Danny wants to know, do you marinate a tri-heart longer than a spinalis, or is it all about 13 to 14 minutes?
All about 14 minutes.
14 minutes.
When that spinalis starts to fall off that fat cap, you're good to go.
Yep. Do you cool the marinade down before you use it? It's just room temperature right out of a can, isn't it?
Yeah. But I don't set it in the sun. You know, I put it in the shade or whatever, and I just let it sit there. I lay my timer on it. Some people have came to me and said, well, I forgot that my steaks were in there. And I'm like, you got to use a timer.
Yeah. You know, I mean, we tell you what to do it. So the Wicked Pig and Spicy White Lightning was a game changer this weekend. So
it was.
Okay, Nathan has a question. Do you marinate every steak, or do you not marinate steaks that look tender or feel tender?
I marinate every steak.
Yeah.
If you come by my camp, I will marinate my steak right in front of you. Always marinate your steak.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's part of your process, and it's, once again, don't change what you do. I mean, that's here's what you cook, right? This is your method. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that steak's more tender, or it may look like it's tender. You don't know. You can't go by looks. You just got to do what you got to do. That's what got you there. And I think that's the biggest thing. Once again, you start overthinking it. Just do you. Just do your recipe.
The only time that I would cut back on time would be a really thin steak. So if you get into a comp that's got a 3/4 inch steak in it, doesn't happen very often, but you're going to have to back off on that time because it'll really start to get at it really quick. But all your stuff that's 1.125 inches, 1.25 inches, let it rip. I mean, experiment with it. Go a little longer. See what happens. I'm trying to do that now to try to help more people out. I'm kind of experimenting a little bit, and you know, I'll give some feedback later on. But I'm just trying to, you know,
you're trying some different things. Yeah,
I'm working the marinade in a different way.
Yeah. Shauna said, I realized over time I had changed my entire process. Once I stepped back and went back to my cooking style and processes, it helped. Plus, I'm more confident doing what I know. That's exactly right. I mean, you know, you've got to do what you do. And, you know, I had one of our cooks started going astray, and he went back and started looking at his class. He watched his own class, and he said, Dadgum, I done changed up this and this and this just by talk, listening, trying, worrying, and went back to doing what he was doing. And buddy, I tell you what, got on a tear again. And
I haven't changed my process in probably a year and a half. I do the same. I do the same thing. That's what I want people to do. Find what you're looking for and stick with it. If it doesn't work, I mean, I can go 7-8 comps without a call.
Right.
Y'all are getting better, so you're kicking my ass. So I can't help that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're not going to win every one of them. No, you might not even get top 10 calls. But when you got 4 of your students in the deadgum top 10, it's not like, your recipe. Well, they beat you with your own recipe. And it's not just yours. Most of these guys have got yours and John's and Shauna's and Terry's. And they've done taken the best cherry picking. I can use this technique that he may not be doing, and it just may be a technique and not a recipe. And I tell you what, There's a lot of times, buddy, a technique is huge. And so guys, you ain't cooking against one. You ain't cooking against yourself. You're cooking against a World 2018 World Champion, the 2019 Points Chase runner-up, the 2016 Points Chase runner-up, and female cook, 2-time Female Cooker of the Year. I mean, Alan Newton and Mr. Legend himself. I mean, that's a lot of knowledge. And if you apply it right, and without getting too silly, you can do very, very well. And I think that's probably one of the things that's hurting.
Yes.
So, all right, let's answer this. Is there anything that you can do to overall impression score? I have only cooked in about 10 competitions and have missed the top 3 top 10s because of an unusually low overall impression score.
Oh boy, that overall impression.
That's a tough one. We talked about that, Frank, last week with Sunny because she's a judge and Shauna, and it's just kind of one of those things. I think Sunny said it best. It's just kind of, it's their overall impression. Take a picture of it. I would tell you, take a picture. Step back and look at it. The KCBS guys do it all the time when they're trying to get that box picture perfect. And you think it looks good, and you take a picture of it, and you go, holy crap, this is out, this is not good. Take another picture. Wow, that's better, but it's still got spots in it that needs to be touched. So, maybe take a picture of it and look at would you be happy with that? Does it look like an amazing steak? So
it's not all about the picture though. It's not all about the picture though either. I mean, you got to put your doneness has got to be spot on. Your texture's got to be decent there.
Oh yeah.
But if your doneness is spot on, your texture should be good.
Right. Appearance though. I'm talking about appearance because that's just one of them. If you get, is the appearance good? Check. What does it look like? Doneness obviously has got to be good. Tenderness has got to be good, or the texture, and it all adds up. It's all of those together. So
the steak does not have to look picture perfect, and I think it's kind of swinging the other way. If it looks too good, man, I don't think they're gonna give you a score for that.
Right.
It's looking because it's
got to look like a steak. It's got to look like a steak.
I'm seeing that move around a little bit because Mark Huntley's been nailing on some great looking steaks lately, and he's been getting nailed in appearance. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you, but I mean, the steaks that I'm turning in, they look good. They're not picture magazine perfect, but they look good. I mean, but his are like turning out great. They got great lines on them. It's like, man, I don't know. I mean, and I've seen some stuff that somebody showed me pictures of. I'm like, how did that get a 49 or a 50? Wow. I would have thought that would, man, it blows me away. They don't have to look perfect.
Right.
They just have to look good.
They have to look good. You don't want it. Yeah. And sometimes I think, what I'm saying is just like in the box, visually looking at it. But I'm like you. I think, I told John, I looked, and John Lindsay's on here. He just came in. He was running late. And I told John, I looked at a couple of his steaks. I said, John, brother, they look like they were freaking putting it out of a damn magazine and spray painted. Mm-hmm. I said, that dadgum steak is so freaking just beautiful that's not what people are used to seeing. I told him that about 3 months ago. I was like, man, your steak is like, it looks like it's spray painted and lacquered. And I said, I just think it's just, once again, it was the picture that I was looking at. And I was just like, it just didn't look like something that was natural. It looked like it was freaking ready for a dang.
And people eat with their eyes too, So when they get that average looking steak come across the board, it's what they got at their steakhouse, week before.
That's right.
They didn't get anything to look like that, and that's why I'm saying that I think that's moved a little bit here lately. Because I've turned in some beautiful looking steaks here in the last 2-3 months, and man, they beat me up on them too, and that's what makes me think that, hey, just make it look good, and that's about it. It doesn't have to, it's got to have some good lines on it, and they got to be straight, and they have to go all the way to the end. When you take a picture, you guys' steaks or whatever, when them lines do not meet at the very tip of that, you're going to lose a point or two right there. And Shauna judged Friday night, and we were talking about that because she was helping Mark, and Mark was like, "What do you think?" Well, she was like, "I'd ding it because they don't go all the way in." You are correct. They don't go all the way in, and that's important. If that can buy you a point or two, make sure there's a way to put those lines on there, but you got to take my class to find out or call me. So there is a way to get those lines all the way to that into that portion, and you can do it, and it will help. If all it gets you is a point may get you either first place or get you into 10th.
Yeah. Here's John said, "I've uglied up my steak on purpose. As of late, got better scores." I mean, I just kept telling him. I mean, I saw 3 or 4 of his pictures, and I just said, "John, your steaks, they don't look natural, man. They don't look like something like it looked like it was freaking in a magazine." So, and so it came because of the picture. I'm sitting here looking at that. So
William Mann is good for that too. And I haven't seen William in a while, and I haven't seen him cooking very much. Oh, there he is, right there. But man, he's got some beautiful looking steaks too. But he's posting a little stuff from his house, and they don't look as good as they used to, and I think he'll switch that around. I mean, if he's had a problem there. William or Bill, man, have you had a problem in appearance lately with your beautiful looking Sharpie steaks you make out?
Let us know, William. Let's see. Shauna said appearance looks totally different once it's cut and sitting in the box. Yep.
Yes,
it does.
Correct.
John said it's definitely changed. So
Yep.
If you're scoring 40s and 50s and everything, is possible there could be a taste that maybe doesn't finish well, maybe something that comes late. That's what a judge said this weekend. So yeah, I mean,
you might have a little heat on the back end, maybe too much pepper. The salt should go away. So your salts come in on the front end, but a little heat on the back end. If you're using spicy white lightning, then you don't put a bunch of it on there, just enough. I mean, y'all are using way too much rub. Put it that way.
Yeah. He said absolutely. So, it just goes to show. I mean, I just think there's some, there's a lot of stuff. When I say in a picture, I'm saying taking a picture and looking, does this look like something that's a natural looking steak, or does this thing look like, Mr. Hollywood, Mr. John Lindsay cooked, dadgum turning in stuff for dadgum the food magazine. So, it just didn't come across natural looking to me. And I
could make them look like that, but I can't get the taste to follow behind it. I've tried and tried and tried. I think I know what them guys are using to make it do that. I can make it look like that. I can't get the flavor on the back end.
Yeah,
that's my problem. And I'm like, man, I want to nail that appearance. And then I'm like thinking to myself, I'm getting hammered on everything else. I'm just gonna make it taste good, and then I'll worry about the appearance later. The appearances, I'd rather have the taste score than the appearance score.
Yeah. What about this one? Have you ever thought about using Wiki Pig for a seasoning more than a marinade? Will it work for that, or is just the stuff in it's just gonna cook it apart?
I have never put it on before. There's a lot of people who experiment with some stuff out there. They're putting it on brisket, pork chops,
chicken,
all kind chicken.
I do using them chicken.
Mike, I'll send you. I have my chicken sample. I just got it the other day, so I'll send you some to try out.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use on chicken, pork. I have never put it on dry. More than welcome to try. Maybe you might find something brand new to try. So I know it won't break it down, but it's going to put a lot of flavor on there.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. The way it finishes goes into overall. Even charred grill marks can make an overall so go bad. Yeah, that's it. That's another thing he did say. That's why I'm saying take that picture, because are they black and charred, or do they have that just like that's that dark brown and fixing to turn black? That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to give away. I'm not a cook, but I know a little bit about it. So and I'll see that sometimes in your marks and stuff, like it's And I tell you another thing, them dark black grill marks that are charred, they sure don't have a very good taste. So
no, that's what I think I was going to bring up. I mean, a lot of people say, well, I put my butter on and wash some lines away. Well, don't be putting that butter on. Just kind of barely tap it on there. Right. But you cannot you gotta have them grill grates at a certain temperature, and you can't put that big old char on there because it's going to taste nasty, and that affects your flavor score. And they judge you by that. How well did he manage that fire on that grill to get that temperature on them grates? What they were looking for. Yeah.
So. Grates or cast? I know what this one is. Grates. Grill grates. Grill grates.
I love a seared steak, but man, I can't. I haven't like jumped on the bandwagon yet, but I imagine that's around the corner for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's bringing up that. I think that is a trend that is coming. It's a lot of people that are looking out there into that grilling or that cast seared steak. And I tell you what, Will Collier, that old boy has got them babies looking freaking phenomenal, and the flavor
they taste good too. They taste great.
Have you tasted? I bet that thing is crazy good. So just got to keep it's the appearance. It's just I think the judges in their mind they're looking for a grilled mark, and that's a gorgeous color and the mahogany and the just. But he's not getting 50s. They're dinging him with 48s and 47s.
That'll come around. The more people that want to start doing it, the more they'll get.
The judges will have to change. Yeah,
they're gonna have a custom of it, see it coming through, and his taste scores have been good when he's turning in.
Off the scale. Yeah.
They do. They taste amazing. So I think the more people that do it, the more we can mix it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Shauna says also remember. Taste is weighted. I would rather have a higher taste score because it can help carry me on other categories that aren't as good on that particular comp. Yep, that's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Yep.
And keep your grill grates clean. Absolutely. So.
Yes. Thanks, Danny.
So we've got a lot of stuff going on with this points chase stuff. Lots and lots and lots of points. I have kind of come in from the IBCA. And a cook that can't do but 16, 17 cooks a year. That's all I can do with my schedule. I never had a chance to make top 10. It was just impossible because you could go cook, 45 cook-offs in a year, and there's just no way that my 17 cook-offs was going to compete. So IBCA last year changed, and they said you can cook as many as you want. We're going to take your 12 best scores on the year, and that's going to level the playing field to do good. I'll give you an example of how well that did. Lee Hickle was the 2019 IBCA points champion. He cooked 45 cook-offs, I think, 43 or 44, 45 cook-offs. This year, he was like in a 12th, 13th place. COVID shut down in February. He only had 7 cooks in. Now, our season starts July the 1st. Here we are in February, February, middle of March, they shut us down, and Lee didn't have all his cooks in. They opened us back up about 6 weeks, for about a 6-week span, and they kind of had, I think it was from like the first part of May to June the 30th when it closed. So you had about a 6 or 7 week span there. It may have been the second week in May to the end of June. And he started going to all the cooks. Well, the problem was everybody was going to the cooks because they were still trying to get points. Well, Lee ended up getting, Let me see. I think he cooked 14 cooks, or 15, I think he cooked 15 or 16 cooks. And he moved all the way up to number 2 in the points. And he only needed one more grand champion, and he would have been in first place. Mm-hmm. But he didn't cook that many. He only cooked, I think, 16 cook-offs. They took his top 12 out of 16, and he still finished number 2. One more cook, 2 more cooks. If he had another grand champion, it would have pushed him into first place. And I think the first place person, I think Phil, I don't know, knowing Phil, he probably had 35, 40 cooks. Phil cooks a lot. But what it did is it evened the playing field. And I just wonder what your thoughts are on doing, IBCA does regions. We have 5 regions in Texas, and I'm out of state, so I'm in Louisiana, which covers Louisiana, any other state. And so we have a points champion in each region across Texas, all 5. And then we have our, out of state, which I won the state championship, points championship the last 2 years in Louisiana. So my question is, we don't have a points champion that away. We just have highest score is the points champion. They take everybody's scores out of all the regions. Mm-hmm. What do you think about doing regions across SCA? 5 regions, say, break them up into states, let them duke it out. If you want to, and if I'm in Louisiana, of course, I'm always cooking I'm an out-of-state cooker for my region in IBCA because I live in Louisiana, so I'm considered out-of-state. If I went right across the state line, I would be in Region 1. But I can accumulate points wherever I go because there's no cook-offs for me here. So if I want to go to Region 1, I have to cook to Region 1. 99% of all my cooks in IBCA are Region 1 except that one right there when I went to Marksville is the only IBCA cook we have in Louisiana. So I have no choice. I can go to Region 1, I can go to Region 2, I can go to any of them, but the points come back to me. So 5 regions, you can cook anywhere you want. Your points come back to your region. End of the year.
You can't win 2 regions. Whatever residency you reside in.
Wherever residence you're in, that's yours. You're the points you're the first place there. You could say, okay, I'm the points chase for the region. Okay, I finished first. I'm the points champion for Region 1, Region 2, Region 3, Region 4, Region 5. Then you take those 5 people, of each one of them, have them come to a location, and they cook head-to-head with a judge out of each region judging. The best, whoever the promoter thinks is the best judge, let those 5 people cook against each other and crown an overall champion. What do you think? Do you think that is something that would be viable? Because I kind of threw that out to John the other day. What do you think?
I like it. That's, we talked about this. I like that, everybody would think, well, if I'm going into a 5 against 5 people, where are they going to take them judges from? From your region. There'll be one judge from all regions. And I think that would make it fair. You got to bring your A game that day. I mean, that's all there is to it. But it would give people a chance to be able to participate, and only take the top 30 comps, that you've done. You can cook as many comps you want. You still cook 100 of them. I don't care, but you can qualify with 30, and and whatever if you have one higher, the lowest one's going to drop off the board, and so you can just keep accumulating, those points and try to win your region.
Right. Lee, how many cook-offs did you do? I see your own here. How many did you do last year? Didn't you do like 16, 17 cooks and they took your top 12? Yeah, Shauna, the answer to your question is yes. You don't accumulate points just in your region. Like I said, I'm an IBCA cooker and out of state. I have to go to Texas to get my points. So Lee cooked 19. So out of 19, they took his best 12, and that got him to number 2, and he was 1 grand champion away from winning the whole thing back-to-back years. So hell of an accomplishment as far as I'm concerned. And that's what I'm saying. It levels that playing field to where I think it just gives everybody a chance. Okay, I may not be able to cook. They're only going to be able to get 30 cooks, right? I'm using the example of Lee. Phil probably cooked, if I had a guess, I would say Phil, who was the points champion this year, great cook. I'm going to say he probably cooked 38 to 40 cooks. Mm-hmm. Lee cooked 19 cooks. They took their top 12, and Lee was 1 grand champion away. Had Phil not got any more, of course, it was at the end of the year. but he was that close in points. I don't remember how many he got beat by. It was very, very close in points. So it just gives everybody a chance, and I just think that it just gives the people can get out and know that, okay, I can at least participate, and I got a chance, to get it. We only did 12. I mean, y'all cook a whole lot more. Maybe it's 30, maybe it's 25. Who knows? Somebody just needs to pick a number and let it be. But Matt, elaborate on your thoughts about taking the top 35 to 50 out of each region to make it a world champion. Yep. That was it. Yeah, that's what we. Yeah, you take.
Brett and Ken can figure that out. If they want to have 200 people there, if they want to have 300 people there, like they always do, it's their choice. I just want them to, I'd like them to break it up into regions to figure that stuff out. Just so we can stay home for a weekend or two. Because I know that I can't go all the time anymore. I mean, I burnt myself out, and it wasn't fun anymore. And I like it to be fun. So I'd like to be able to stay home and go fishing or, do something.
Just something else.
Just get away from, if I'm not doing well, just take a weekend off. But if I want to go cook in Texas the next weekend, I can leave my region, go cook with Terry, because I like cooking with Terry and all those guys, go down there and cook and hang out. And I can get my points down in Texas and come back home, and my points follow me to where I go.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You can go wherever you want. Your points will follow you. As far as taking the top 50 out of each region, which would give you 250 cooks for a world champion, the only thing I would worry about that is say you've got somebody that's got 10 points in 50th place, and you got somebody else in another region in 50th place that's got 50 points. I almost think you just say, we're just going to take the top 200, top 250, top 300, whatever number they want to take. Take the highest points, because it would kind of be bad, a guy that's in 50th place that did cook and's got, 50 points. I don't know, just say 50 or 60 points. Somebody else in another region that cooked one cook-off, there's not a lot of teams in that region, he's got 10 points, he goes to it, and the guy that had 50 doesn't. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think they ought to just say, look, let's just take the top 200, 250, 300? Wouldn't it be better?
Yeah, here and there. I mean, because if you got a guy that's, say he's from Iowa and he's cooked his, say he's cooked 25 or, and he's going to qualify, within that 40 parameter, and he's put his time in, I don't know. That would have to be sitting down with a board of, 8 or 10 people, right, and really talked about and make it perfect and get other people's opinion before a decision is made on that, for that, the way to take that, or just leave that all alone, still give out golden tickets, and then we're just going to change the points championship to make a points champion. And that's totally it.
Yeah, you could do it that way.
And still leave people, that one guy that cooks, 5 comps a year and he catches his golden ticket, he's still eligible to go.
Right. Yeah, like I said, this is just thoughts of throwing it out there. So, Shauna, like I said, the highest point, it is kind of, the splitting up in the regions is just so you can crown a points champion at the very end of the year by keeping everything. So one person that's doing a mass amounts, they can't keep up. There's just no chance. Like I said, I never have a chance in IBCA the way it was. Now I could go do 19 competitions in a year. If I could have a year like what Lee Hickle did, I could be in the top 2 or 3. Lee finished second place. It does allow it to where it keeps people from getting burned out. So there's a couple of different ways.
That may be just too confusing for Brett and Ken to handle. And then, like I said, just make the points champion deal the 30, and then still give out the golden tickets, because that's what Frank Davis is asking. That's why I don't want to exclude anybody, because if they win a comp, then they wouldn't be able to go because they wouldn't qualify. So you really can't beat that guy up, because he won a comp. He should be eligible to do that. So I would just say, leave the golden tickets as the way they are. And then the state championships, every state's going to start having a state championship. Iowa is going to start having their own state championship starting January 1. I know Alabama and, all them places are starting that. If you win a state championship, you would also qualify to go to the world championship. Yep. And then we'll take last year's points champion and last year's world champion, a free eligibility in to go to the worlds also. Yep. So they don't have, if they choose not to compete, because they're done and wore out, they're still eligible to come back and try to defend a little bit of a title.
Right. I just think the main thing is what you do with the world. Like you said, you could just leave golden tickets the way they are. You could let the state championships come in. I'm just trying to think of something to do for the points, just so you don't burn everybody out, because I'm telling you, burnout and fatigue will hinder the sport from growing. I know that because I'm seeing it in the barbecue stuff before they started putting the brakes on this stuff a little bit.
Well, you're seeing it also on December 31st this year, because there's a 4 in Laurel, Mississippi. There's 3 in Florida. There's 5 in Oregon. There's 2 in Iowa, and it's like they're stacking everything in on that night, and you're spinning your wheels.
Yeah.
And if we had all had our 30 in, we wouldn't need to sit there and do 5, or 4 or 3 or 2. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Lee Hickle said, 45 cook-offs killed him. I mean, it's grueling. And, he finished first place. This year, he cooked 19 cook-offs. He finished second place,
And you can still win, your points champion for your region without doing 30. Because if you sat out there and got 10 second places and 5 first, you're gonna
probably be in first place. Yeah,
you're gonna be sitting up there, and you might not even need to do 30. But you're crazy if you don't. But you're gonna get there. So you're rewarded with doing really well.
Yeah. So Shauna, that's exactly right. That's what you could do. You could do a points champion by each region. You could do the golden ticket in the championships and the state championships the same way. And then I still think you take the regions, the 5 regions, points champion in each region, bring them together, and you could do it maybe at the World when they're doing the championship. Maybe do it. I don't know if they got time. If not, just even before it, whenever you want. But bring those 5 people in with one judge from each one of those regions, where each region is represented by a head judge.
Just get your best prime judge that you got.
The best judge that you had, whatever promoter wants to, we want to take this one, just like they do for the Super Bowl. They pick the elite of the elite to go in to go judge it. Everybody says, we want this judge to go in. We want this judge. Maybe the people in that region votes who they want to go in for their head judge. Everybody has to say, whoever got the most votes goes judge. Those 5 people cook off against each other. Whoever wins it is the points champion, the world points champion, or the 2021 SCA USA points champion. Boom.
But you can still be a regional points champion.
Yeah, you'll be a regional points champion.
You would crown 5 regional points champion with no
5
rank.
Regional, right?
But then you could have a plaque or something.
Yeah, give them a nice little plaque. Yeah, and then you go get that championship ring. Let me see that ring, Matt. You got it on tonight? Boom.
No, I don't, man.
I didn't bring it. So you have a points champion, a regional points champion, and then those 5, each one of the top goes and competes against each other in a head-to-head epic battle, and you have one judge from each region judging it, and that crowns your points champion. I think it helps everybody from keep burned out. If you still want to go do 80, 90 cook-offs, you can. Doesn't hurt a thing. And then it comes down to that one epic battle at the end. You are the region points champion, and then maybe give them a nice little plaque, a big trophy. Maybe get them a nice big trophy. But then at the end, you're going to get that ring. And you talk about a good cook-off that would be. You got 5 cooks going head-to-head against each other. I think that would be a pretty good deal.
That's why I said pull a judge out of every region, because those if you went in and to Texas and got 5 judges out of there, everybody'd be like, no, wait.
Yeah, no, you couldn't do that.
You couldn't do that. So, but if you called, your a person that reps in that region a lot. So like Danny Kennedy in that region, and you call Michelle Dang in this region, and Jim Leona up in this region, and just say, hey, you guys got a great prime judge you can send our way. And they'll be like, because they follow all them scores. They know how those people judge. And they're going to say, I got you one. We're going to send it to you. And, we're telling you, hey, do you want to go? You can go.
Right.
And pick who you want to go. Judge. And you will be judged so fair on that. It'd be stupid.
Yeah. Well, you have to judge it fair because you don't want to hurt your own. You don't know whose stake's coming across it. So that's the whole thing. You just have to judge it fair. So I don't know.
You'd have some top. I mean, you would have. Oh man, you might get a perfect score out of that deal. I would have to say.
Yeah, you very well could. I mean, it's just something to think about. Some people are like, no, just leave it the same. Some people are just like, yeah, maybe this would be. Sometimes, I mean, IBCA did it for years, and I think when they dropped it, I mean, Lee liked it better. I liked it better. A lot of teams liked it better. I just think it would be conducive to help the sport grow and not burn out people, because if you keep on at this rapid rate, it could easily burn. And once you start burning cooks out, it's going to hurt the sport. It's going to hurt it. I know it. You don't want sometimes change. This is a change. Talk it over with the cooks. I mean, there's a lot of people on here tonight, and Shauna said, "Great idea. Let's make it happen." I'd be curious to see what other people on here. Who else likes that?
I would like to see. I'd like to see a vote. Just put out a vote, and everybody put out. Do you want to be the same? Do you want to make a change? And let the stake people decide.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good idea. So, I mean, divide the regions up. I don't know. Just look at a map, kind of keep it by certain regions and stuff like that. You may have to have 6. So
I'm with Lee. Let's put this thing on pay-per-view and let's get it rolling.
Let's get it rolling, man. I mean, I think it would be good. So Corey wants to do it. I mean, regional grand champions. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. That's exactly what it would be. It'd be a regional grand champion. So I don't know. It's something to throw out. I mean, that's something that Brett and Ken, and they've done an amazing job for what they've done.
There are people out there that can't cook 80, 90 comps.
No, it's impossible.
I can tell you how much money it is to cook 87 of them.
Yeah.
And that it's done.
Yeah.
It really is done. And you have, Tim and Sandy sitting there. They've done close to, I think, 90 something. And I know how much money about what they spent, and it's crazy. Yeah. You can cut that down and make the average person, be able to compete. I think it would make it more fun. Because it brings it actually stepped up your game a little bit, and make you a better cook. I think it really would, and it'd make a lot of people better cooks, because people are going to start coming up on you, and you're going to have to, instead of getting, 6th and 5th places, you're going to start getting 3rds and 4ths and 1st. I mean, that's what you're going to have to do, and it will make everybody better.
Yeah,
it will.
Yeah. Lee said he spent $32,000 for his 45 cook-offs that he did. And that's just driving around Texas. That ain't going all over the country. I hate to ask him how much he spent in his last 7 competitions, because he has been driving 3,000-mile trips round trip, because he's jumping into KCBS. So, but yeah, I mean, you guys driving 16 hours.
Yeah, and you could give a little money for a regional, a winner.
Yeah.
Brett and Ken could throw out, or shit. We could get some sponsors rounded up. I mean, it'd be $5,000.
Pay the top 5. Just if a little bit of money, a grand champion trophy, regional champion trophy, just a little bit of money.
I would help get some sponsorship together and just give it, each person that won the top, give them $1,000 cash.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's something in a trophy. I mean, everybody likes money. So
yeah. It's just something that helps, and I think it would help. I really do. I think it would help grow it, because I'm just worried that it's gonna burn people out. I think Brett and Ken has done an amazing job with what they've done. But
I'm
you got
not
to
taking
figure.
anything. I'm not.
Oh
I'm not
no,
taking anything
no,
away from
no,
those guys.
no. But the thing
I
is,
love Brett and Ken.
it started though with a few cooks and a few more cooks and a few. But now it's just got. Who would have ever thought that you got to cook 70, 80, 90 cook-offs to be able to have enough points where y'all used to didn't have 70 cook-offs in an entire year. So that's the thing. It's evolving. So
yeah, like I said, I love Brett and Ken to death. I'm not taking nothing away from them. They've done an amazing job building the SCA, and we are an SCA family, and we need to stick together with that. And those guys they've done it, and they do it well, and they throw a hell of a world championship.
Oh yeah,
I look forward to that every year. But
yeah.
I think if they change it, we can make it really fun.
Yeah, I think so. Well, that's something to talk about. It's just ideas to throw out there. Be a pretty simple deal. And so here you go, Shauna. I ran for points in 2016. We did 36 cook-offs, and it was a lot in 1 year. There you go. I mean, that's the thing. That was 4 years ago. 36.
How many states was that in, Shauna?
Yeah, how many states was that in, Shauna? I bet it wasn't many because it hadn't grown out yet, and I'd hate to have to guess what John Sandon. I bet it's approaching six figures. I guarantee it's approaching six figures. I don't know, but I bet it's a lot. So I see. We also only had single cooks then. Yeah, no doubles, no triples. So we drove hours for one cook. Yeah, that's another thing.
So it would have been cheaper to do it back and then when she did 36 of them because you didn't leave the state. Yeah. But last year when I did it, we did 17 states and 57,000
She said
miles.
5 states. Did 5 states.
5 states.
Yeah.
I did 17 states and 57,000 miles. So.
Golly, there goes a whole vehicle. 2 years of that, and you done tore up a vehicle, man. Mm-hmm. So, and that was flying to Minnesota to cook one state. Wow, that's just insane. Absolutely insane.
I'm kind of like I'm digging this flying thing. You're gonna see me fly a lot more. It's actually about the same money as for COVID right now. I can fly for the same amount. I can put money in my gas tank. So I've been jumping on planes and going places.
What do you do for a grill? You got somebody get you a grill when you show up?
Yeah. Yep. Like at Lambert's. I mean, White Lightning hooked me up with grills and whatever I needed. Sterling Smith is helping me out there in the desert, and Terry and Benny are also helping me when they come. So I got people in various places. I mean, and if it's not just me, if anybody wants to go do that, people will more than happy to hook you up. All you got to do is put it out there and ask, and somebody will go, I got a grill, a table, a cooler, whatever you need. People are great. All you got to do is ask.
Yeah, that's the good thing about our barbecue brethren, and I'm sure the steak brethren is the same way because y'all sure do have a nice, tight-knit group as well. So, heck yeah, flying around's the way to go. There's enough people around to get grills and supplies to you. That's right. Heck, you can throw your deadgum rubs and stuff in a dang suitcase or an overnight bag, in a carry-on bag, and just show up. You're done. So
I'm pretty mad at the TSA right now after the last couple times I've flown with rubs. So and knives. Yeah, they like to dump. They like to dump stuff out.
Yeah.
And I've let them have a piece of my mind the last time I come home from Mississippi because they dumped a bottle of rub all over my clothes.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, anybody got any more questions? We done went about 10 minutes over, but we had some good conversations going, and I think this was good. I mean, it's just kind of gets some ideas out there. This is one of the ones that I had talked to John about and talked to Matt a little bit about it. And then Matt said, hey, the judges, he had the idea with the judges. I just think this would be something that would really help it. And it just kind of came out of the playbook from kind of what IBCA does. So it's a little bit best of both, and y'all have got good scoring systems, and you just rock and roll with it. So anybody got any other questions? If not, we're going to close this thing out. Matt, tell you what, brother, it's always good to have you on here, man. Keep up the good work. I want to thank you, man, for being part of Barbecue Champs Academy, helping my vision of growing this sport and what it's done for so many people. Our sponsors, we have got a great amount of sponsors, and I love all of you guys, and we try to drive traffic to you for helping us I've got to get that girl on here one day, because I tell you what, Miss Consistence she is just tearing it up, and she told me she can kick your butt. I don't know if you know that or not. So,
hey, you know what? You know what? Maybe we might have to have a little brother sister head to head.
She will take you out, buddy, faster than you even know.
You might that one needs to be put on pay-per-view right there. That one will be fun. And you know what? Most people will bet on her, and more likely she will beat me.
Oh, I'm betting on her. That girl, you don't mess with her. I was going to surprise you and have her sitting on here and just pop her in here on you tonight.
Hey, what we ought to do, Mike? We ought to just have it live on Barbecue Champs Academy on a Tuesday night.
There you go. That'd be hilarious. That would be hilarious. She'd beat you.
Look
at her. There she goes. She called you out. Whoa! Called you out. That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm telling you. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a great show. I appreciate it. I hope everybody will join us next week. We're going to have one of our sponsors on here with this Tapacue. I'm kind of working with them of trying to get an air probe. These are pretty big probes, but I have already started talking to her about developing one for SCA that is going to be the size of a tip of the Thermopin. These things would be absolutely great. I think for SCA, you could just poke it in your steak after your last flip. You could put 2 of them in there. So you don't going across it, you could put one center, go off about 1 inch from each side. You could drop it in. It'll stick straight up. It'll be the thin tip. Instead of the thick tip that you see here, it would be thin, just like the Thermopin. And once you make that flip, you could just poke it. And you wouldn't have to keep going back. I see how you do it. I've seen what John does. Y'all got to go check it. A couple of minutes, got to go check it. You got to go check it. You're keeping poking holes in it, checking it. How cool would it be to have one that you put in it and you're watching the steak come up? You're watching the steak come up on both of them. You got 2 of them. Hey, this one's at 130. This one's at 131. You see that average wherever you want to pull it. It's there. We're going to be working with her to see if we can perhaps get that. She says she thinks probably by March of maybe next year that maybe something could happen. What do you think about that? You think that'd be a pretty cool way where you don't have to go in there and keep poking that steak and opening your grill?
Yeah, I got a ThermoWorks Dot that I love. That's a Bluetooth one, and I can look at my phone, but I hate that cord.
That cord, that's it.
If somebody would design something without a cord.
There it is, brother.
I like that a lot. I want it to be thinner.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to get the point. I'm working with her now. We're going to talk about it to get the point the same size as a Thermopin on that end. It'll be the same size as your MK4. And that's the $1 million idea. I mean, I've been asking ThermoWorks when they're going to do it, and they have no clue. Well, these cats here, and it charges. It'll hold the charge for 4 hours. You can put it back in this. In 5 minutes, it charges the capacitor again. It's good for another 4 hours. So check us out next week. Tapacue will be on with us. We're going to be talking a little bit about their product, and we're going to certainly talk about that. I hope all you SCA cookers are here for that, to give her some positive encouragement, just like Matt, that would be a great idea. I keep telling her, I think it would be huge for the SCA. No more opening up your grill when you get that last little crunch time, having to constantly poke it. And I'm like, Matt, the heck with the wires. They need to go. Matt, been a great show, brother. Keep it up. You're doing a great job. I appreciate you. Appreciate your friendship. Appreciate you being part of Barbecue Champs Academy. Hey, don't forget on Monday night, 7:30, 7:15 for the pre-show. Arcasippy Smoke Live with Mr. John Lindsay and Mr. Hottie Toddy himself, Mr. Ronald Burns. Those guys do a great job. Make sure that you're catching those. You can follow up with us on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock here on Barbecue Champs Live. I tell you what, it's been a great night. Appreciate everybody being here. Have a lot of fun. And as we always say in our class, smoke on.
I'm gone.